tigers in here, I gotta be honest with you, so welcome to the show. This is officially the AARP portion of the show, so thank you very much. I turned 50 this year. 50! I know, can you believe that? Some of you think, really? 65 maybe? 68? I know the years haven't been kind, but I turned 50, and you know, all these things start to kind of spook you when you get to that age, because I always thought AARP was people starting to think about retirement and worried about ED and things like that, you know? Okay, so maybe one of those is right, but anyway, so I will say that I did my own financial plan, and I'm proud to announce to you right now that I can actually retire today, so that's pretty cool. Happy about that, thank you. I have to die by the weekend. We're faced with some serious decisions at age 50. You know, I'm kind of torn. I don't know whether I should add $500 to my step as a catch-up or just get Botox. Either way, I'm trying to do it. You know, because we're obsessed with youth. I'm obsessed with youth, and my wife makes fun of me all the time. I married a younger woman. She's 4 years younger than me. She looks 20 years younger than me. But she and my daughter decided to give me one of these gift cards to a day spa. By Paul's, any man in here had a spa day before? By Paul? Or by Paul's, how many women in here wish their men would have a day spa? It started out as kind of a joke because you know you put a dollar amount on these things, but my wife actually put on there one thing. She wanted me to get a pedicure. And it's because I'm really, really sensitive about my feet. I have like a foot phobia. It's not a foot fetish, it's something different entirely. A foot phobia, I don't like people looking at my feet, I don't like people touching my feet, so she thought it'd be funny to put that on. Any guys here had a pedicure before? Someone, it's okay. I said, by God, I'm going to power through this. I'm going to go get this thing. So I go and check in, and lady leads me back in the back, and the women play along because you've had these things before, I'm sure. And so they sit in this big old armchair, this vibrating on my back, and there's this boiling cauldron of bacteria. And I have to put my feet in there, and she's like, it's like boiling the skin off the bone. And just before that happens, she pulls my left foot out, she puts it between her knees, she's got this towel between her knees, she looks at my feet, and guys, I'll be honest with you, men's feet, they look like hooves. So we need to have something done to them, because the last thing you want is those nails like curling over the toe, you know, clicking on the kitchen floor in the morning. You know, so she started to work on my feet, she pulls out, she's got protective eyewear, she snaps it. And she pulls out these things, she starts grinding all over them, she starts snapping, things are flying everywhere, there's smoke coming off this thing. I'm headed out to the waist, because I'm trying to have this zen moment to try to take myself away from this, get out of my happy place. And I decided to look over the Sports Illustrated that I got white knuckled, and I look down at her, and I realize that she picks up this thing that looks like a cheese grater at this point. I'm not kidding, so she goes to running this cheese grater all over my feet, so I'm just about to soil myself at this point, you know. She says, I'm done with that. She puts that foot back in the water, she pulls the next one out, she starts the same thing again. Things flying, smoke everywhere, belt sanders snapping stuff, cheese grater, all this stuff. And so I'm just about comatose, and she puts my foot back in and says, okay, you're done now, so you can relax, and then you can get out and sit in the area over there to decide what your other services were. And I started to get out of the place, and two things occurred to me. One is, I realized then why, guys, we have all this callus on the bottom of our feet, is to insulate us against the floor and everything we walk on. Because I could feel a grain of sand for every step that I took. And then I looked back at the lady that was sitting there, and remember the little black towel she had between her knees? There was something that I can only describe as like a pile of Parmesan cheese right there. What that was. Want to get a visual by the way? Next time you go to the Olive Garden and they come to the table, I want you to think of your old buddy Paul when you do that. So I sit in a little area over there and I was relaxing, and she came to me and she said, well, have you decided what you want to do? You know, what the other services were? And I said, you know, looking at all these things, but I don't really know what I need. Can you kind of recommend something? She said, well, how about the men's facial? I said, well, tell me about it. She said, well, what we can do is it will clean your pores and take all the dead skin off, make you look more youthful. Well, all I heard was the word youthful. Okay, youthful. I'm all in for that. Whatever that is, youthful. So she lay out on this table, covered me in this warm blanket, feeling spectacular at this point. Little Yanni music piped out in the room, relaxing, nice. And she pulls this, what I can only describe as like a steamed welding torch. Now, women back me up, that's exactly right. And I don't know if it's again, is to take the skin off the bone or over the torch. And she starts to file and scrape and squeeze and snap and pop and all these things. And she's got like some belt sander running across my forehead. And I got to be honest with you, it felt pretty darn good. And I was like, and she said, "You're all done." And she said, "You want to see what it looks like?" Well, sure. Why not? And I didn't have my glasses on, so that was a little freaky. Because I wear contacts and trifocal glasses. So I'm laying there, and she holds this mirror up in front of me. She said, "How's it looking?" It was all a big blur, like Diane Sawyer in the morning on the news and stuff. They got that little smoky screen in front of her. Well, it looks fine to me. But then she asked me something that I will never forget. I never thought anybody would ask me this as long as I live. She looked at me and she said, "Can you explain to me, describe a little bit about your eyebrow grooming regimen?" My what? Your eyebrow grooming regimen. What you take care of your eyebrows. I said, "Well, in the morning when I'm shaving, I guess if I've got hair hanging over my glasses, I'll snip it off." Is that what you mean by that? And she said, "Well, what we can do is I can shape them up and I can neaten them up a little bit, make you look a little more youthful." Well, that's all I can do. Youthful. Make you look more youthful. Okay, I'm in. What are you going to do here? She said, "Well, I'll just neaten them up." I said, "Well, please, just don't make me look surprised, like I'm walking around, like somebody just slapped me in the back. Don't do that to me, or like McDonald's arches, or take me fade up." No, I'll clean them up a little bit, snip them and everything, and make them look okay. She said, "Because your eyebrows should be like women and men, separate but equal." Okay, so I'm into that. And she goes to pulling things out, plucking them, and she's snapping, and it feels like it sounds like as well, she's using like some tin snips and cutting piano wires. And the very last thing she said to me was, "Well, I really need to clean up underneath your eyebrows here to make it look a little more neat. And that will really bring out the youthfulness." Okay, I'm all that. And she said, "Well, what I have to do is put a little wax under there, wax under your eyebrows." Now, I'm not a complete idiot. I understand what waxing is all about, and I understand some of you women have some more sensitive areas than that wax. So I thought, well, okay, I can handle this. So I'm laying there, relaxed. I've got the hot blanket over me. I'm like a big taco in this thing, I'm feeling relaxed. She's taking the welding torch, the garden hose away from me. And so she starts rubbing this hot wax under my eyebrows there. It's pretty soothing, I'll be honest with you. And that's when she informed me that I didn't know that I had a grain. She said, "I'm rubbing it with the grain of your eyebrows." So I have a grain there. And so she rubbed it, and she pulled out this little piece of what I think is like some Burback sack or something, And she rubs it on there. Now I know what's coming. I realize that, but it's a little tiny place. How bad can it be? So she rubs it under my right eye. She's smoothing it, and I said, Now, folks, I'll be honest with you, right here in front of God and everybody. I went to college. I'm an educated person. I even took a couple of anatomy classes, so I kind of get how all this works. Okay? But it was not until that exact moment in time that I realized that my eyebrows are directly connected to my testicles.